Three executives of the Football Federation of Belize, namely Marlon Quillen, Cruz Games, and Senior Vice President Sergio Chuk, want the President, Roberto Vicente, suspended from his post. A meeting was called yesterday evening at the FFB's headquarters, where the executive voted on suspending Vicente. However, following that decision, a second meeting got underway, and this time it was between FFB's executives and members of the Football Congress. The meeting reportedly got heated as members could not decide on whether or not the executive had the legal authority to suspend Vicente, who has been accused of mismanaging the federation. Vicente was in Belize City this morning, and we got an opportunity to speak with him.
Mr. Vicente, tell us, are you suspended from the FFB?
No, I am not suspended from the FFB. I am still the president of the Football Federation of Belize. The complaints that the executive members have made is that I've been making too many decisions without them. But you have to understand that they are two different things. We have the executive decisions and we have administrative decisions. When the executive makes a decision, it comes out on the ground. Then I, as the president, can also make adjustments, administrative adjustments to those executive decisions. So it is not it's not decisions that are made, executive decisions made. Right? Those are administrative decisions that I can make.
The suggestion is that you, in your capacity as president, is manipulating the way the Belize District Association elections are taking place.
Well, that cannot happen because we have an electoral committee. The Congress elected an electoral committee, and that electoral committee takes charge of the elections. So the electoral committee views all the applications and they indicate which one is legal and which is not, which is filled out properly and which is not. These are professional people whom we have asked to serve the federation, and to say that the elections are being manipulated means that you are telling us that those people whom we have elected are private citizens, people who have nothing to do with football, are cheating the system. No, that is wrong. And I think those people who are saying that, those executive members who are saying that, who are accusing these people, and as including the president, of manipulating election, should be suspended.
According to FFB executive member Marlon Quillen, they have been tired and frustrated the way Vicente is managing the federation. Other issues the executives have with him is the purported interference he and Secretary General Michael Blease have been placing as it relates to the District Football Association elections.
We don't believe that they are following, or the FFB is following, the electoral code and the statutes. And in October, the General Secretary and the President were trying to have endorsements in all the districts. We got wind of it. I personally wrote to CONCACAF, to the legal department, and they called in and said, you know what, you need to get the proper procedures in place. So we had an extraordinary Congress where we elected the Electoral Committee and the Appeals Committee, and then the process started again. However, the information is not being presented to the people, the aspiring persons. In other words, if you're going to have elections, you're supposed to, everybody in that area is supposed to know when will be the elections, where, who you need to contact to get the nominations from and the secondments, but these things are not happening. They tried all kinds of ways to tell us that this won't happen. They're saying we're acting illegally, and anyway, we know we followed the statutes to the letter, and the meeting was called for 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. They turned around and called a meeting for 6 o'clock instead, and not only with the executive, but executive and Congress members. Anyways, we still showed up at 3. We had a hard time getting into the building. We made sure we had security on the compound because we expected certain things to happen. And eventually the president came, we went upstairs and we had our meeting. We gave him, not as I would say an ultimatum, but we told him that, you know what, we could compromise. Let's recall these elections that have happened, hold off on the ones that are coming up. Let's revisit the code and the statutes, but by lawyers, and then we move forward. And he refused. So we had no choice but to go ahead with the suspension.
So both sides interpret the FFB statutes differently, but they both agree to have FIFA and CONCACAF interpret the statutes for them. That should happen over the weekend, so at this point Vicente's presidency remains in limbo.
I have the right to call all Congress members, to maintain a relationship with the Congress members, to inform them of what is going on in the Federation. So I called the Congress members in, and everyone showed up for that meeting. So out of that meeting, it was suggested that, hey, your suspension, your proposed suspension of the president cannot hold water, because the section of the statutes that you're using is not the proper section. So
question the legality of it.
That's right. So it is not legal, and therefore we're bringing in CONCACAF and FIFA to interpret that.
And those representatives have been contacted so that they can submit their written interpretation of the statutes.
The CONCACAF and FIFA, yes, have been contacted. I wrote a letter this morning, and I've requested for CONCACAF to come in as well as FIFA.
Now, Mr. Chooks believes that your suspension is on pause, that when that interpretation is handed in, that the suspension will be official. What do you think about that?
Whether he says it's on pause, the suspension cannot hold water. It cannot be. I understand that this is not just about football. There are several things happening here. That these people have been in the federation and they have not done anything for football. The success of our football federation largely depends because I have made important decisions. I have made decisions that is.
So you do realize how this internal battle looks in the public. It looks like everybody wants power. What do you think about that? How the public may perceive what's happening within the FFB, within the executive of the FFB?
That's exactly what we did not want, because that's why we tried to right this problem internally. But it has gotten to a point, and we've written CONCACAF, we've written FIFA, and we have had no response from them. This is the last stance we could take. It's nothing about power. I know it will look bad, but I could guarantee you that if I could walk away from this today, but I had to do this what I'm doing right now. Again, our reputation is at stake, and I'm not going to have somebody ruin my reputation.
Vicente says he has the support of the Congress.
He may, but again, the statutes is what will dictate.
The FFB sent out a short release on the matter today, clarifying that, quote, Roberto Vicente remains the president of the Football Federation of Belize, end of quote. Roberto Vicente believes